In the various meetings in the last few weeks, most recently 2 days ago in London, the answer from European capitals has been as resounding as it is clear. We are in an era of rearmament, and Europe is ready to massively boost its defence spending, both to respond to the short-term urgency to act and to support Ukraine, but also to address the long-term need to take on more responsibility for our own European security. And this is why today I have written a letter to the leaders ahead of Thursday's European Council. This is why we are here together today. I have outlined in this letter to the leaders the Rearm Europe plan. This set of proposals focuses on how to use all the financial levers at our disposal in order to help member states to quickly and significantly increase expenditures in defence capabilities, urgently now, but also over a longer period of time over this decade.
And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 8. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. And double honor to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. And I wanted to go into this article here. I got a wind of it earlier today, and I decided I'll touch on it once I get back home. And I haven't really read through the article just yet, but based on the topic or the title, I was very interested in it. Okay, so we're going to read it together, and we'll see where it goes, all right? It says, Canadian Premier threatens to cut off U.S. electricity exports, says America needs to feel the pain, all right? And, of course, just reading that title alone, the first precept that came into my mind, let's get that real quick in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Okay, it says here, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3 says, For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right, so that America needs to feel the pain. I thought about a woman with child. All right, a woman that's travailing with child and she's not escaping. That's America and the birth pains, right? The birth pains. We're in the time of the birth pains. Okay, and as we read through this, I'm sure we're going to be able to pick out certain things that ultimately in the next coming weeks and months, Americans are going to start feeling, all right, the end result of these actions that are being taken right now as we speak. Not to mention over the past couple of years, I'll say going back to 2021, 2022, all right, you had a lot of these food processing plants that were burning down. Okay, you had all these chickens that were being cooked up out of there. Okay, and then of course this year you've had, well, last year into this year, you've been hearing this propaganda of the BF, the Angry Bird. All right, and through that they've been able to wipe out mass populations of chickens. All right, poultry farms have been wiped out. Okay, and it's even affecting not just the egg prices, but eventually in the next coming couple more weeks, as the weather starts getting warmer and people start getting ready for those getting together, family gatherings, and so on and so forth, food prices are gonna go skyrocket, man. Okay, and this whole tariffs situation, I believe it was kicked into effect at midnight last night. Okay, with 20%, was it 25% or 20% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and I think 30 or 35% on China. All right, I might be getting the numbers wrong, but there's those significant percentages will affect American products, and in turn will affect the American people. Okay, and that's all going to lead to that more of a tension that will boil over into more of a civil war. All right. So it says here, Ontario Premier threatens to cut off U.S. electricity exports amid Trump's trade war escalation. In a bold escalation of tensions between Canada and the United States. All right, so Trump has been in, oh, and that's the spirit. I got to mention this. Trump has been in here, a month and a half, 2 months. And all of a sudden you have pretty much the whole world is going against America right now. Okay, within 2 months, this guy has already gotten all these other nations and countries against America that were previously so-called allies of America. At least they had some form of cordial interaction. Okay, and it reminded me of this morning when I was at work. I spoke to a customer, and he had the news going on, and there was this lady on the TV talking her shit about how the European Union nations got to come together and create their own defense system, and basically just forego what America is offering, so to speak, right? So as he's saying all these things, we both listened to it, and I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. World War III, man. World War III is coming. And he's like, man, I hope not, brother. I hope not. I hope you're wrong on that. I said, nah, man, the way they're moving, bro, they're playing too much, man. World War III is coming. He's like, yo, man, if it happens, it's over for me and you. And I just laughed in my mind. I was kind of like, yeah, okay, But when he said that, then he followed up and said, man, this is crazy, bro. Like the past 100 years has been wiped out within 1 week. That's what he said. He said the past 100 years of work and effort has been wiped out within just 1 week. And it reminded me of that quote. And I believe the elder apostles, time again, they'll bring it up. All right. I believe it was Vladimir Lenin who made that quote. There are times, what do you say? There are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks where decades happen, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So that's pretty much what we're seeing now, the deconstruction of the relationship between the whore and the rest of the beast. Okay, we're seeing the setup, according to biblical prophecy, that leads to America being looked at as an enemy by these European Union nations. Okay, so it says here, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has threatened to halt electricity exports to the U.S. with a smile on his face as President Donald Trump's renewed trade war intensifies. Okay, with a smile on his face. All right. So when the blackout happens, they have something to explain it away. Oh, see, this was going on. Your president's decisions that he's made has caused all this to happen. And it seems like what they're doing is they're having these so-called world leaders beefing against each other. But what they're doing is actually really affecting the people who are really not even for all this beefing that's going on. Okay, except for, you're going to have the fans, right? The fanatics of these so-called political members and shit, right? They're going, oh yeah, no, we're conservatives and we're liberals, or we support what Trump is doing. It's necessary for those to be doing what they're doing, blah, 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 whatever. So you have a small sect, right, of the population that will support these kind of things. But on the grand scale of things, when people are going to a store and the shelves are emptier, or you're going to a store and they don't have a certain product that you're looking for, or the specific product that you're trying to get, all of a sudden you see a crazy ass hike in the price. Okay, and then they put a nice little sign letting you know, due to the tariffs, right? You're not going to be getting what you used to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it is they're going to give you that runaround excuse that they don't really know when these issues are going to be resolved. But for now, these are the restrictions, and we just got to work with it. All right. And that's going to piss people off. You know? So it says, Ford's remarks made on March the 3rd, 2025, came as Trump's administration imposed a 25% tariff on Canadian goods effective March 4th, 2025, prompting fierce retaliatory rhetoric from Canadian leaders. It says the Premier's statement, widely reported across mainstream media, underscores the deepening economic rift between the two nations and highlights the critical role of energy in their interconnected economies. It says, speaking at a mining convention in Toronto, Ford declared, "If they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cut off their energy, with a smile on my face," according to a Toronto Sun. He emphasized the leverage Ontario holds, stating, "They rely on our energy. They need to feel the pain." See? So even though it's Trump who's so-called waging this tariff war on the Canadians, it looks like the Canadians' retaliatory action is going to directly affect the people and not so much Trump. Right? Because if you shut off the power and all that, I'm sure Trump is going to still have electricity. You see? But the average person whom I rely on maybe they live in an apartment or whatever the case may be, they rely on certain things to be done in the city for them to be able to live and survive, like these electrical companies being up to par with their service, right? Water, sewage, all kinds of different things that have to happen, in order for a city to function. If any of those things get disrupted, like what these people, the Premier of Ontario or in Canada is proposing or threatening, that's not going to be good. Imagine the summertime with power outages. When it's baking hot, I believe it's going to be the hottest summer on record. That's just my opinion through the spirit, right? But imagine that. What kind of frustration are people going to feel? What kind of outcry are people going to be making? They're going to say, "Oh, this old energy grid, the reason why this is all happening is because we need to transform everything into digital. This old energy grid is susceptible to attacks. And we don't want Canadians to have that kind of power over us anymore. So what can we do in the homeland to mitigate this from ever happening again, or mitigate its results, its effects on the people? Because it's gonna affect millions of people, millions, all at once too, right? So it says he emphasized the leverage Ontario holds, stating, "They rely on our energy. They need to feel the pain. They want to come at us hard. We're going to come back twice as hard." That's tough. That's tough. It says the New York Post echoed this sentiment, noting that Ford's threat targets states like New York, Michigan, and Minnesota, which depend heavily on Ontario's electricity exports. You hear that? In 2023, Ontario powered 1.5 million U.S. homes, making it a significant supplier to these border regions. You hear that? 1.5 million U.S. homes. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of homes. Okay? Damn. It says the backdrop to Ford's warning is Trump's decision to enact sweeping tariffs on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China, fulfilling a campaign promise to address trade imbalances and border security issues. The Associated Press reported that Trump announced the tariffs would take effect on March 4th, 2025, after a 30-day delay expired, leaving no room for further negotiation. Trump has tied the tariffs to demands for Canada and Mexico to curb the flow of migrants and drugs, particularly fentanyl, into the U.S., though Canadian officials argue their border possesses minimal risk in this regard. Let me see if I could find some more. Yeah, there's nothing here. Well, there's not much left here in the article. I'm just trying to skim through to see if I could find There you go. Trump's tariffs have already sparked retaliatory measures from Canada. The New York Post reported that Canada plans to impose tariffs on $155 billion worth of U.S. goods, including alcohol and fruit, in response. Ooh. Man, you catching hell and being sober enough to deal with it? Oh man, that's tough. Tough times ahead. You know, scriptures talk about a time like never before. We're definitely in those times, man. We're definitely in those times. Let's see. It says, the Toronto Sun reported Ford's confidence in Canada's ability to prevail, with the premier asserting, quote, "I didn't start this tariff war, but we're going to win this tariff war," end quote. Yo, Edomites, bro. It says, yet the economic fallout on both sides of the border looms large, and that's part of the plan, right? In order to make the U.S., Canada, and Mexico one. Remember what Alex Russo said, right? That one of the Rockefellers had spoken to him and told him that what they're going to do is to create something known as the Amero, which is which is going to be the currency. Back then, he didn't know or mention that it was going to be a digital currency, but he just said that cash will be obsolete, and they're going to have something known as Amero, which is going to be the currency for North America. All right, so Canada, the U.S., and Mexico are going to be able to use that currency. Okay, and of course, if that's the case, it's not going to stop there. If they were to push on moving forward, it's not going to stop there. That's why they have something known as cryptocurrency. Okay, and when you go into the cryptocurrency patents that they have, all right, I believe there's one that's it's called the cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Right, when you actually go into it, all right, I believe it has 666 in it. Okay, and when you read the abstract, it's talking about literally building a system through cryptocurrency where ultimately they'll tie it into a human's biometrics, which we've been talking about for I don't know how long. You know, starting from my elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. All right, that goes into what? The MOTB, the mark of the beast. All right. And that's what's fast approaching. They're setting the stage for that time. Okay, for that time, man. It says, yet the economic fallout on both sides of the border looms large. Economists cited by the Associated Press predict that Trump's tariffs will raise prices for U.S. consumers on essentials like food, clothing, and automobiles, while Canada faces absolutely devastating consequences, as Trudeau warned earlier this week. Okay, so there you go. Both sides, they're going into war to what? To deplete, okay, the supplies for the people to survive off of these things. Okay, and the month of March is the month of war, right? So makes sense, right? It says Ford's provocative stance has amplified the stakes in this trade dispute, casting a spotlight on the fragility of Canada-US relationships or relations. Whether this threat to cut off electricity exports materializes or proves to be a negotiating tactic remains uncertain, but it has undeniably intensified the rhetoric in an already heated conflict. Okay, and guess what? Let's get this real quick. Let's get this real quick. Here's the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle." Okay, so yeah, it says what? It says that it's undeniable that the rhetoric has intensified, all right, over in a short time, all right, it's something that's already a heated conflict. Hey, all right, so things that's already heating up, the Lord is putting more fire into it. All right, He's putting more fire into it, man. All right, because He's the one who's mustering. All right, when you go into that word muster, let's see what we got here. All right, to muster something, right? It says here to display, to reveal, to show, or demonstrate. All right, it says to let's see here. Right, it says to collect, to assemble, to bring together in a group or body. Okay, especially for military service or inspection. All right, the intransitive sense of assemble, meet in one place. And where's that one place that they're gonna meet at? Let's get that. The Valley of Jehoshaphat. All right, let's see. In the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat. Let's see what the Lord is going to do there. All right, this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. It says, "I will also gather all nations," okay, to muster, means to what? To gather or assemble. It says meet in one place of military forces, okay, to summon or to gather up. There you go. To gather up, right? So all these things that you see going on, the US, Canada, Mexico, China, Ukraine, Russia, most of the European nations, right? It's the Lord doing all this. Okay. Joel 3 verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is where the Levant area is, what is known today as so-called the Middle East area, right? It says, "And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel." And it's not talking about modern day Israel right now, as is Zionism or Israelis, but it's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. That's the Israel that the Lord is talking about. That's the heritage of the Lord. Okay, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right. So we're not in our land right now because our land has been parted. You got part of it is mixed with Muslims, and part of it is mixed with Talmudists. Okay, so the Lord's land has been parted, man. Okay, there's a book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 2. Verse 12, going all the way down to verse 12, it says, "Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about." Okay, so like I said before, going back to the article, right? It says it remains uncertain, but it has undeniably intensified the rhetoric, okay, in an already heated conflict. And conflict means war. Okay? Conflict simply means war. So we're in a trade war / tariff war, whatever you want to call it. Okay? And who's that going to affect? It's going to affect the average American people. Okay? It says, as reported across Fox News, CNN, AP, which is Associated Press, and other outlets the coming weeks will test the resilience of this decades-old partnership, with energy emerging as a pivotal battleground. Okay, and Yahushua said, if a kingdom be divided in itself, then it shall not stand. Right? If a kingdom is divided against itself, it's not going to stand, and that's what we're seeing. We're literally seeing this American / global Edomite supremacy coming down to the ground, as the Lord said in Isaiah 47. Okay, everything is coming down. America's support around the world is coming down. The love and respect that these other nations and countries had for America is all all dissipating, man. All right, those friendships, relationships, bonds that they built over the years is all what? Dissipating. Okay, and the reality is setting in that, damn, those prophets were right. Okay, those prophets were right. All right, and there's a whole lot more where that came from, what the Lord's going to do very soon. Okay, let's get this last one and then we're going to close it out. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. And verse 33, it says, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. All right, and we're starting to see the signs that leads to this time period right here. Right, everything that we've been saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to happen. It's going to come to pass. And people, American people, are going to what? Are going to reflect on this. All right, and they're going to know that, damn, these men were the men of the Lord this whole time. You know, but at that point, it's going to be too late, man, for a lot of people. All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that out real quick. Just get ready, man. Prepare. This year is going to be mixed with a whole bunch of shit. Okay. You see the Lord setting things up, man. And right after the Passover, we're going to start seeing things, man. Things are going to start picking up. Things are definitely going to start picking up, man, because the days and everything like that, you still got some numerology stuff that's lining up, and they think they're going to take advantage of that. Okay. But we know according to prophecy that, no, it doesn't happen like that. All right. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. Lord willing, you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak, Wadash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Until next time, Shalom.